All right. Good. Right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope everyone is pretty well this afternoon. That's my second time here in Amsterdam. Very happy to be here. I know that you may be a little bit tired, but at least for me, it has been a very good day. So what I'm going to talk here today is share a little bit about how to break the trade-off between create a very nice application that can generate a lot of value versus having to add a lot of energy and effort to make that happen. I want to try to be very practical, showing real example that we use it at TagoIO. So first of all, I am Fabio Rosa. I'm the CEO and founder of TagoIO. TagoIO is an IoT cloud platform that makes it easier for people to connect the devices and extract the value from the devices and bring it to the business. So the idea is that people can create very good application without demand a lot of time from them. We don't design the hardware, we don't design the connectivity, but you can integrate with a lot of hardware and devices out there. It's not only LoRa, it's also used for satellite, Bluetooth, any kind of connectivity. One thing I want to share here with you is, since the company we are at 10 years around, a little bit more than 10 years, I would like to share what the kind of things that we learned during this time that I think is related to the point here today. So we design applications helping customers. We had done for more than 1,000 applications, I think probably 1,200 commercial applications around the globe. And we have done this basically for any kind of sectors, if agriculture, smart buildings, energy, logistics, and so on. So our perspective here is not only about one strict sector. So there are three things that come to me when I was thinking about what to share here with you. Of course, we learned a little bit more than three things, but the three things here that I think is relevant first is, looking back all this year, we saw that it's very hard to plan. It was extremely hard for companies to plan their project at the long term, even short term. And the main reason for that is because many components were still under development. It's not like you had a very well-defined connectivity, hardware, and solutions everywhere. And again, I'm not talking about one specific sector, one specific country. I talk overall. You may have something here before in Netherlands, but probably not in Brazil or in North America. So that was a big challenge. The other thing that you learn, that some people don't agree maybe, is that we don't see much value, or if any value, from applications that were very simplistic. And by simplistic, I don't mean simple. I mean something that has been paid attention to the value, to the complexity, is something really very rough, not much thought on it. And the reason we see that simplicity, simplistic solutions was not good because customization for implementation is really necessary. You need to think about the whole process. When you implement IoT, it's not only about technology, we all know that. It's not only about the business, it's not only about people, it's not only about what you really can do, how you reward the people. It's a lot about everything together. So simplistic solution can be a problem. The third thing is that a single app normally is not necessary. I mean, it's necessary, but it's not enough. Why I say that? Because customers really need applications to be running multiple technology. I know at the beginning, people want to focus, and they may say, or come to us and say, okay, I want you to run a technology, I want to use a specific LoRa, and I want to do this for a specific solution. But what happens is that as they grow, or the time passes, they gain more adoption, they start to use more technologies. So they may start to use satellite connectivity, cellular connectivity, and so on. So, and why that's important? Why I talk about this complexity? Because if you go to the basic project selection, very basic, let's say that you have a lot of features that you want to use in your product. You may select them in different space. If you consider two axes, one is the value, okay? The higher here, the higher is the value that this feature is going to deliver. And another one is the effort, or the time that you will spend, okay? So if you put this in a chart, make your first analysis, you may think, okay, I have these features here that don't deliver much value and takes a lot of time. It's very complex to be done for whatever reason. It's kind of a no-brainer. Most of the case, people just are going to say, I'm not going to deliver that. I'm not even going to start to design that. And there are other features that you're going to see, say, okay, high value, this B, E, G, and low effort. Let's do that. Let's integrate that. Let's talk about IoT solution. Let's put this function. Let's create this report. Let's put this on the dashboard, for example. Nice, but what happened is, if it's here, is it for you, there is a big chance that it also is for somebody else. So how much value overall you bring to the marketplace? Maybe not much, and probably going to work on that. So what can be interesting is if you go after those features and functions that can be a little bit more complex for almost everyone, but can bring it to this side, what it means a lot of value, but it's not that complex, or you can simplify. So that is the reason why I talk about if you can simplify things, you can bring more functions, more value for your business. And if you have a nice process, you may even add more functions to decide of the effort, right? You make it easier, you can do more things. Again, why I talk about complexity? Just to get our part where you are in the cloud. For the cloud side, a lot of people think about dashboards, visualization, and make a lot of sense because people want to see something, want to receive some information. But the system in the cloud normally is not only dashboard. It's much more complex than that. That's why normally we recommend use a platform. This is, for example, very high level, our platform, but can be similar from others. Everyone has something here and there different, but overall, you have your device, send the data to TagoIO, and send it to database. You just don't send this data to the database directly. You need to create a queue, you need to have APIs, you need to control, you need to limit the devices, then you need to process this data. You need to have even different database to store this data. And also, you need to have think that you have different type of users access your application. You have the driver, the manager, somebody that really doesn't understand the technology, doesn't need to understand. They are the end users. And then also you have the developer. So create all these together can be very complex. So that is the part you go to visualization. We know that information is vital. Okay, for example, these are real widgets that you have on our platform. You can create and use things like that, really cool. But normally, instead of just showing a data, you need to pre-process this data. So it's not only about showing the data that comes from the battery and put it here. You need to pre-process, you need to filter, you need to take some action. So how the platform can address these challenges, okay? The way we do that, if you take a look, you see, okay, most of the part is the dashboard, but you have other functions here, so it's not only the visualization. If you expand just this part, and again, I don't think that everything here is only created by a platform like ours, but the way you put together here is very, very unique when you combine everything. For example, the functions that you have here are to manage the devices, but it's not only for serious database. You can have different type of database. You can upload files, video, image, things like that. You can have scripts to run in real time. You can connect these with the edge. And also, you can have full control of the user. So combine of these really save a lot of time. It help you to design a more complex solution, bring it to the marketplace. Okay, so we created this through the, let's say, at least 9 years. And this year, of course, when we start to talk more about AI, things start to get a little bit more clear, not 100%, we start to add AI. First, we have been using AI internally by our developers, because you have a team of developers, about 7 or 8 people that work just for the application in our company, and they start to use AI. These are going to be released next month, and the goal here is, instead of just put a search, for example, use AI to search for devices, save a lot of time. We use, for example, the concept of tags. You can ask the devices, for example, you can ask, oh, find me the devices that are in Netherlands right now, or find the devices that are located in Switzerland, or list the devices that have a problem with the battery, things like that. And then we continue to expand. As we all know, AI processing can be very expensive. So we thought, okay, let's bring AI to help to do the job of the developer, not really, but help the developer. So here, we create a prompt option, where, not option, but options for people to add the prompt, where they can add things like that. Okay, we want to create a code chain management for application, show me all the sensors. So it's gonna go inside our list of devices. We have more than 500 different type of devices, and then list these devices and look for the connectors, how to integrate these, and give suggestion. Okay, so I say, okay, we have all the sensors. Then you ask you to create the dashboard. So far, you haven't really coded anything. So you can do this now. And then we say, okay, that's really nice. Now change the dashboard and create a dashboard. And in this case, create a dark mode. I prefer dark mode. So it's really doing this. These are GIFs that we generate for our application. And they started to work, take a little bit of time. But basically, it's going to change things here and change all the configuration, the formulas, the visualization to the dark mode. And at the end of the day, after, let's say, a couple minutes with AI, still a little bit slow, it generated the dashboard, generated the report, generated the alerts, all by prompts. Okay? So far, what you have been doing is to help you with parts. Okay? Data, dashboards, analytics, scripts, all these things with AI. This is good because that's not only for a specific market, a specific sector, but it helps us to continue with our initial plan that was to design this for any kind of application. So if that's for energy, if this is for logistics, supply chain, we can do that. If you, anybody here, that one purpose, the reason why you are here is because if you design hardware, and want to expand how people can use your hardware, we'd like to have a conversation because with the AI combination with the powerful platform that you have been designed so far, we believe you can drive more applications and make sure that not only few people can use, but anyone can start going, use the prompt and create application by themselves. So if you have any question, want to talk to me, myself and Thiago will be around to get any question that you may have. That's all. If you have any question. Yeah.
When is the new platform available?
Yeah, good question. So we are planning, the question is when that will be available. So we are in the final phase, testing and understand how you are going to create the model much easier to add your own AI module inside. And we believe that as per now, will be for the end of November. So a little bit more than 1 month. If you have interest to have a conversation for us, to take a look in the preview, we'll be glad to do that.
MCP is available right away?
Oh, yeah. So there is another question. If MCP is available, yes. And it's kind of more common than a question, right? So MCP is already available. So you don't need to wait. You can go today and integrate and start using your own ChatGPT or cloud directly with Tago to create dashboards, create scripts. All right, so I really appreciate your time. Thank you.